Hi guys, DFX back with you. Welcome back to the channel. Well, without further ado, let's deep dive into part 2 of my pulp culture collection. Let's get into it. So last time where we left off, I was ending the last video with my entertainment center, my TV, my VCR, PlayStation 2. Well, we'll just continue along here in the room as I pan up here with probably one of the biggest things in my collection is my Back to the Future stuff. So we'll start up here. I'll pan back a little bit so you can see how much stuff I have. Then after Back to the Future, we'll talk about my Sting collection. But here's all my Back to the Future stuff is in this corner pretty much. Yeah, and I'll get into that yellow box here in a minute as well. But we'll start up here at the top. I've been very fortunate to meet Christopher Lloyd and Tom Wilson, who played Doc Brown and Biff Tannen. Met them 2019? Yeah, 2019 at Denver. Well, at that time it was Denver Comic-Con. Now it's turned into Fan Expo Denver. But there they are. Got to sit in the DeLorean, which I'll talk more on as well as I pan down here. A couple of my favorite pieces of Back to the Future art were by a guy I met. Well, I knew about his art for a while, but I actually got to meet him in person at Colorado Springs Comic Con. I'll actually leave a link and his name below in the comment box or the description box to let you know who he is. But I was fortunate to get these pieces of art signed. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's kind of very faint. That little corner right there, that's his signature. But really cool guy. Told him I'd been admiring these pieces of art for quite some time. I originally saw them on t-shirts. Maybe one day I'll get a t-shirt with both of them on there. But as I was panning down here, this brilliant person in the beard, some of you may recognize from a different franchise. That's Mark McClure. He played Jimmy Olsen in the original Christopher Reeve Superman movies. But then later on, he became Dave McFly, who is Marty McFly's brother in the original Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 3. And he only had brief cameos, but his cameo was really cool. So back in, I think this was 2017, I met him at Cheyenne Comic-Con in Wyoming. So there he is. But let's get back to the DeLorean here for a second. There are two great individuals out there that do a lot of work for the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation, which are the Olivers. Some of you know their story, some of you don't. But they would drive this DeLorean from Comic-Cons to Fan Expos to just around the whole entire country. I think they've been to almost every single state, and I think they've been even as far as Alaska with the DeLorean and promoting the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation and earning money for it. Great story. Go check them out. I'll leave a link below of who they are and for the Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation if you want to donate to that. But yeah, I met them and I got to sit in the DeLorean that they made. This is not from the studio. This is one that they made on their own. And when I met them, they had the cool little hoverboard bit added to it. But yeah, they're really cool people. I hope these pictures are coming across. But yeah, and then the license plate is basically what you're seeing on my shirt right now. But when I met Tom Wilson and Christopher Lloyd, was very fortunate to have them autograph my Back to the Future poster, my little micro poster here. Yeah, really cool that I had that chance to meet them. Hoping one day that I'll even get to meet Michael J. Fox and Leah Thompson. some of the other cast, and I'll also have them autograph this as well. Coming a little further down here, I've got several different versions of the DeLorean time machine. I have it in Transformer form, Matchbox form, bigger form. Like this is a model that the company Diamond selected back in the, well, probably around the, let's say around the anniversary, 35th or 30th anniversary. Then I'm pan over here. Even got Back to the Future lunchbox, another actual Hot Wheels 1/18th cast DeLorean, and then this is the actual picture I had Mark McClure sign. It's that lenticular version of them disappearing that Marty had on the guitar in the part 1 at the school dance. I'm watching them fade away and disappeared, but I had him Mark McClure autograph it, so that's what he wrote on the card. Really cool moment there. Coming a little further down still, there's my Back to the Future DeLorean in Lego form that came out a couple years ago. Was really excited to get this, put it together, and I even have, if you want to go back and watch it, I have the actual pictures of me building it and talking about it and unboxing it here on one of my unboxed episodes, so go check that out if you want to. But there's the big box that it came in. Move this box. This poster, well, it's not a poster, it's an actual thing that USA Today did in the movie Back to the Future Part 2, but also for the 35th anniversary, they actually, USA Today actually re-released this in a form that people could buy, and this is the actual paper that was in the movie, but recreated by USA Today for the 35th anniversary. So I thought that was really, really, I mean, and it's down to the detail, and it's only a page, but I mean, it's the whole paper that what happened on that day in the real time and not the movie, but this whole front part was meticulously recreated for people to buy. Really cool. Got a few other little things down here. Got some glassware. This is from Biff Tannen's Pleasure Paradise Casino, and that was put out by Diamond Select. I have, move this. We'll get into these DVDs here in a minute, but there's the part 1 tumbler. It's really cool, and I have all of them. So there's part 1. There's the part 2, and I haven't even opened these yet because I just kind of keeping them pristine in their box. And there's part 3. You can tell they're in front of the clock tower, or the clock face of the clock tower. As we get down here a little further, always gonna love this because my stepson gave it to me, and it's a cool recreation of Michael J. Fox when he was in Teen Wolf. Really, I haven't seen the movie forever, but it was always cool that my stepson gave this to me, and so I just keep it with all my other Back to the Future stuff. But coming down to this is probably my prized possession of all my Back to the Future stuff, other than the autographs and the photos that I had with a few of the cast. These are my replica Nike Air Mags that Michael J. Fox wore in Back to the Future Part 2. See, I have a hoverboard as well. I have actually a couple. One's a prop. We'll get back to the shoes here in a second, but one's a prop. But this is actually one that Mattel, the company themselves, put out. Feel like, I don't know which year they put this out, but it's actually a very scaled replica of the hoverboard. This is where they'd the the handlebars would go that Michael J. Fox took from the little kids. But yeah, very cool. This was also licensed by Mattel through Matty Collector. I don't know if some of you people have heard of that, but yeah, this was a big thing for me. I put it down here on the floor so you can hear it kind of, and it's got like carpet sliders on it, so it sounds like it's actually floating on the ground. But probably one of my prized possessions with my Back to the Future stuff. But yeah, that's really cool. But okay, going back to this big yellow box. Like I said, these are my Nike replicas. They're not official Nike shoes, but they are replicas, and they are of the Air Mags that Michael J. Fox wore in Part 2, riding the hoverboard. So here they are. Like I said, probably my prized possession. I actually wore these back. God, that light's ridiculous. Anyway, I wore these back on Halloween. Well, the day before Halloween, because I had that option. I could wear 2 costumes. A couple days before and the day of, which I went as the Ghostbuster. You've seen that video here on the channel. But yeah, these were unboxed originally on my channel. Somehow that video disappeared because I don't really want to talk about these too much more, because this might get pulled because of that. So I'm just to say they are replicas. They're not the real thing. And yeah, so if you have more questions, you can leave me a comment below. But one of my prized possessions that I got back during the pandemic. But as these are all boxes for all my Playmobil Back to the Future collection, which I'll show you now. So there's the Playmobil Marty McFly's truck that he gets at the end of the first Back to the Future movie. Jennifer's sitting with him, if you can tell there. And there's Biff with waxing and whatnot, with his spray bottle and getting ready to put on the second coat of wax. And then I'm panning over here. Here's another Marty and Jennifer. These came out of, and with the guitar and speaker, these came out of this Back to the Future Advent calendar that they put out, the first one that they put out. And these were a couple of the days from that calendar. You got Marty in one day, Jennifer in another, and then the speaker in one of the other days on the calendar. Panning over here, we've got the pond that's out in front of the clock tower in Back to the Future Part 2. And got Griff and Marty on hoverboards because he's being chased by Griff. You can see that's the Jaws 19. That was a movie they kind of featured, Hollow movie they featured. And then Goldie Wilson the third promoting hoverboarding or hover conversion, and it's right there. And I got Doc in his future gear sitting on the bench. And we got the cop, future 2015 cop. Then of course we have the DeLorean itself. I have it in the Back to the Future Part 3 mode. But you can open up the doors. The figures fit in it. Those are the little logs that help the train go a little faster and whatnot. And Stock and Marty back here with the plutonium, getting ready to put it in, and Marty's videotaping it. See, I've got different aspects of the movie showing all over the place with these Playmobil things. So got the Twin Pines Mall, and then the Lone Pines Mall, and then this goes back to the beginning of the movie where Doc, Marty, and Einstein are getting ready to show you what this baby can do, this DeLorean, what it's capable of doing. Then got a few more. I've got Marty in 1955 clothes, Doc in 1955 clothes, and Biff. Continuing on here, we have a very pivotal scene from Back to the Future Part 3 after Marty and Doc go get the DeLorean from the mind, we witness Copernicus looking at Doc's gravestone, basically saying that Marty needs to come save him from being shot by Buford Tannen. So this is a very pivotal scene in Back to the Future Part 3, kind of played out in Playmobil form. And as I continue here we go with Doc, Clara, and Marty, all in their 18.5 garb with one of those squeeze box cameras that they had back in the day. And then there's Buford Tannen. But really cool sets overall. Really have enjoyed Playmobil's interpretation of Back to the Future. I hope maybe down the road they'll do, like, I don't know, the time train or something. But yeah, really cool sets. And I'm glad I'm sharing them with you here right now. Coming back into the room here, it's now my Sting collection I'll be sharing here with you. Like I've said in previous videos, Sting's probably my favorite. He's my hero. He's probably my favorite wrestler of all wrestlers. Yes, I've liked others too, like Hulk Hogan, Macho Man Randy Savage. But something happened when Sting became the black and white Sting and started battling the NWO that maybe really get drawn to his character and whatnot. If you follow wrestling at all, he's getting set for his final match with Darby Allin. And it looks like possibly the Young Bucks at AEW Revolution coming up on March 3rd. But as I'm saying, I have so many Sting memorabilia that I've shared, I think, in other previous videos here on the channel. And you can also really watch one of my best videos with that is that time I met him, and there he is. I did meet him, and there he is. But learn all about that in that video. You can go find that here on the channel under that time I met. But here are all my action figures about his career pretty much. This one went back to his time in the NWO Wolfpack when the black and white splintered off. Yeah, I can't even say the word. With as Kevin Nash is the leader, and then here's probably one of his final WCW figures. But I'll get into some really cool ones that I've had, and I've even shared those here on the channel. But just panning down here, then he went to the biggest match that he had that kind of didn't get really a good reception. It had really good built up, but not very good, was not well received by the fans. And that was his match he had with Hogan at Starrcade 97. Learn some history. Go back and watch that. Maybe you can figure out why that went the way it did. Then he went on to Impact Wrestling. Yeah, these are in no particular order. TNA. This one was really cool. One of the few times he became the Joker Sting in Impact Wrestling. Now it was TNA again, just in the last couple of days. But that's actually his autograph. And then we'll just pan down the figures here. There's me and him. Colorado Springs Comic-Con. Yeah, another Colorado Springs Comic-Con. And then he came to WWE, and that was one of the attires he wore on Raw. And then this infamous match that I don't like really talking about. It did not showcase him in his best. It was really just Vince trying to ruin his career pretty much, and by having Triple H go over. And that, I'm kind of bitter about that. They could have let him just be the Sting we knew from WCW, but Vince didn't want to do that. And then we'll pan over here. Got the latest AEW Micro Brawler. I did an unboxing of that here on the channel. And a metal Sting figure, really cool. Then he was a Ninja Turtle. They made Raphael made him like Sting. Really cool idea. Good concept. Whoops. Lost a lot of stuff just now. Anyway, as I'm panning down here, one of the most odd series that WWE did was the Mutant series. They tried to make him like him and other characters look kind of weird, like with their gimmicks, but not with their gimmicks. Like they made Sting look like a scorpion here with the claws and whatnot. Probably not the greatest series that they did, but it's collectible, I guess, for me now. And then finally, what just fell there was one of the few posable WCW bigger scale figures they did of Sting. And finally, probably my biggest possession that I have of all my Sting action figures is this box set right here. It is pretty much the evolution of Sting from his early days, his early career, all the way up until his final moments that he was with WCW, and that being in this outfit right here. The cool thing about this box set is it opens up and it shows his robes, his other outfits that he wore, his different makeup, his different face paint, and then it goes over to his NWO Wolfpack, and then when he became the vigilante that went after Hulk Hogan at Starrcade 97. Also on this bookcase, under the Sting figures, I have several different DVDs, wrestling related DVDs, and some WrestleManias, and finally some DVDs of Sting when he was in Total Nonstop Action Wrestling TNA, which is back now. You should go check them out, give them a hit up if you're interested in some different kinds of wrestling content there. So next up, get into some of my Ghostbuster stuff. You saw my Proton Pack in the previous video, but I actually had a chance to meet a Ghostbuster, and I actually met Ernie Hudson, and he signed my Ghostbuster 2 poster. It was the only poster I could find that had all four of them on it. Eventually, hopefully I'll get either Dan Aykroyd's or Bill Murray's signature. Kind of doubt it, but I have at least Ernie Hudson on this poster, which is really, really cool. And there, I'll bring it down here. And there he is. Me and Winston Zedmore. Really cool. Got a random box of when the New Day put out, they actually put out some cereal, the Booty-O cereal. It was basically like Lucky Charms. But yeah, really cool box. There's no cereal in it, it's just the box, but that's pretty cool. I'll pan down here a little further. When I originally was going to meet Ernie, I had ordered this Diamond Select figure, which I've not opened yet. But I ended up decided to go the poster route, and there's the poster I ended up getting. And I got a couple of the Ecto Match Hot Wheels. I always call them Matchbox. This is weird because Matchbox and Hot Wheels, totally different companies. Anyway, but there's Ecto 1 and Ecto 1A from both the original Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. This is an actual CD. It's by Amy Dumas's group, the Luchagors, which is Lita when she's wrestling in WWE. But I met her several occasions. You can actually go watch that time I met Amy Duma. So yeah, a lot of these were leaked into other things I've already kind of shown you on the channel, but this was kind of cool because, you know, it is autographed by her, and it is an actual CD that I got at the concert when I met her. Panning down here, Transformers did a really cool thing back in 2019 when they made the Ecto 1 into a Transformer. So, you know, that's always been really, really cool. And I also have opened that and shown you here on Unboxed Go watch some of my unboxed videos. Like I said, everything's connected. So yeah, go check those out if you want to see that opened and transformed and stuff. Same with the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And just recently, I got my Hasbro Selfie. This is the Hasbro Selfie box that that it came in. Just have it stored to the side here, and I'll show you that figure here in a second, in case you guys haven't seen that. Got some other Ghostbuster stuff here. Those are actually, that's the box for my probably one of my very first unboxes that I did here on the channel. My Stay Puft Marshmallow K-Swiss shoes. Yeah, go check that out. That was always fun too. Yeah, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm kind of not really telling you much about that. I mean, go search my unboxes. That's my very first, I think it was my pilot episode really for my unbox series that I do here. These are a couple of the mini puffs that came with the Proton Pack. I have not really shown you these before, but these were from the Spangler Proton Pack that I got and that you've seen here on the channel. Just really cool little characters. This other box was kind of like just a free-for-all box that Ghostbusters put out for their anniversary back in, it was back in 2019. Just has a bunch of random stuff in it, like had like a thermos and some other kinds of cool stuff like that. But my big possession here, and when it first came out I couldn't afford it, but this is the Lego Ghostbuster Firehouse. I got the actual Ecto-1 Lego as well. It's parked inside. Yeah, really cool. Probably my coolest, biggest Lego thing I've ever put together. I stretched it out. You could probably do it in 24 hours, but I made it last a week or two. Yeah, I'd go do other things and come back to it. So yeah, and there's all their little character figures, and there's some of the Ghostbusters outside the firehouse. But yeah, really cool. Probably a big possession of my Ghostbuster stuff, other than my Proton Pack. This is a Slurpee. This is, gosh, probably the biggest Slurpee mug I've ever seen. This was only exclusive in Canada for the 35th anniversary of the movie, original Ghostbuster movie. Yeah, this, I actually, my uncle actually lives in Canada. He married my current aunt, who also lives up there, and he spends most of the time up there during the winters, and then he comes back down here in my town in the spring and does the stuff he needs to do in the spring and the summertime. But yeah, this was a big thing. I had to text him and see if he could find me one. Yeah, 35th anniversary, but and it's huge. It holds a bunch. I haven't had a chance to even try it out because where I live, we don't have 7-Elevens. So yeah. And one thing I got just recently was last year on my birthday. Was really cool, and really, my wife took a lot of time in looking for this item. Where she found some of the original Ghostbuster, Kenner Ghostbuster figures. They were out of the box, but I didn't care. I had these when I was growing up, and but there's Stay Puft, and like I said, I had these when I was growing up, and I didn't know, how much that kind of stuff would be worth these days. But temporarily, I have them in this box. I'm going to get some display stands here in the next week or two. But yeah, she got me the whole complete set of the original Kenner Ghostbuster figures. I was floored, kind of floored by that. And then there's Slimer, and Egon, and Peter, and Winston, and Ray. And of course they did come with the proton packs. I just don't have them set up in a way right now that is applicable to. But yeah, it's kind of cool now that I have these. They're not, like I said, she got them off eBay, so they were out of the box, which is fine. Yeah, that was really cool, and I thank my wife for this, taking me back to my childhood a little bit here. So those will all be eventually displayed kind of right in this area next to the mini puffs. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys about this. These were free admittance to. One is for the last Matrix movie, Revelations. I think that's what it was called. But I got in for free for that. Me and my wife both got in free for that, and the last Spider-Man movie, No Way Home. So really cool little mementos that I've kept. I also am fortunate to have the Ghostbuster Afterlife Ecto that they put out for the Afterlife movie Hasbro toy, and good old Egon's driving, so that's cool too. So of course I have a few more action figures, wrestling related. Of course got Macho Man Randy Savage, Becky Lynch, and this one was really cool because it came out at the same time as the Macho Man figure, Miss Elizabeth. Really kind of cool because Mattel really doesn't put a lot of real fabric on their action figures. They mostly do like replica plastics or whatnot of their costumes, but this is actually sparkling sequins green. It's really cool. And as I come panning down here a little further, there's my Hasbro selfie that I unboxed here on the channel. And I'm still impressed with this. If you look at it, it is me. You can't fake that. And then so I just stuck it on with the rest of the Hasbro series figures that I have in a collection. Got Peter, Ray, Egon, Dana, Winston, and of course Gozer. Really panning down here, I have a lot of Stephanie McMahon figures. I was a big fan of the stuff she did during the Attitude Era, but just some of the WWE figures, F figures at the time that they put out of her. And then they did the most recent one that I have is of her from one of the WrestleMania gears that she wore with Triple H. Then I also have a few Triple H ones. I was a big fan of Triple H. It's one reason why I switched over to and started to watch Raw again, was because of Triple H. Yeah, he's done a lot for the company. He did then, and what he's doing now. Even though I don't keep up with the WWE product as much as I used to, but yeah, this was part of the first part of the series of the real scan figures that Mattel did. So these were early production of those. And then I have a couple of the Deluxe Aggression ones that they put out as well, with accessories. And there's Triple H, and finally John Cena. And finally, wrapping up my pulp culture collection, I have a few other posters from TNA. I have the Victory Road 09 poster, a limited edition of 75, and I have number 26, but it's signed by the beautiful people Madison Rayne, Angelina Love, and Velvet Sky. And then I have a really cool one. Gosh, there's so much glare. I'm sorry for that, but it's Bound for Glory Redemption. It's when Sting faced Kurt Angle, and these are another limited edition. I got the limited edition certificate in the corner, signed by the late great Don West, and the little holographic insignia on the bottom there. Then I have a few other TNA wrestling autographs. There's Kurt Angle facing Desmond Wolfe. He was a good wrestler. Not Kurt, but Desmond. But yeah, I don't know where he ended up, but I'd like to see him come back some way. And then just the opposite, Desmond Wolfe's got Kurt Angle in a hold. But yeah, I always like these two autographs, mainly because it was from the same match, and one is Kurt being in charge of the match, and then the other is Desmond showing his flexibility and being in charge of carrying his character of the match. I have one autograph of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was another individual in the wrestling era that I had a lot of respect for. I still do. Gosh, it's, just seeing stuff recently. It's been 40 years since Hulkamania was born. Stuff he's posted, possibilities he might show up at WrestleMania. There's a lot of speculation and rumors around that right now. But Hulk Hogan was another individual that meant a lot to me growing up. Whether you love him or hate him, in today's world, he was still a hero to a lot of people. Still is. And like I said, there's Sting again. These two autographs, Sting and the Monster Abyss from TNA. These were another limited edition run. I have 15 out of 300. So yeah, there's those. And last but not least, I in my tour of my pop culture room with you guys, part 2, with this picture of Anthony Michael Hall. You know him from The Breakfast Club, 16 Candles. But when I first met him, he was out promoting the show The Dead Zone. It's an adaptation from the Stephen King movie, and was a 6-season show on USA. And when I met him, it was back in 2022 or 2002, and I had him sign my Breakfast Club poster. The next time I met him, he was at Colorado Springs, Denver Comic-Con, and he came with the other cast members of Weird Science. Kelly LeBrock and Ian Mitchell-Smith. But and at that time I had him autograph my Weird Science poster. And there they are all together. And that's going to do it for today. Thanks you guys so much for joining me on part 2 of my pop culture deep dive. It's been a blast sharing some of these memories with you. If you have any questions about any of the stuff I've shared in part 1 or part 2 of these videos, leave a comment below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And as always, live long and prosper. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.